Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dig in. What fascinating topic are we tackling today?
Well, you know how some of you out there are aiming for that first million?
The classic millionaire dream. A popular one for sure.
Right. And you sent in some super interesting material on this. One piece really caught my eye, a podcast episode, and get this, it connects making money with learning English.
Now that's a combination I wouldn't have immediately put together. I'm intrigued. How do they link those two?
That's what we're here to find out. They go on and on about this millionaire mindset, using words like perseverance, resilience, and determination. Kind of sounds like every motivational speaker ever, to be honest.
I see where you're coming from. Those terms can sometimes feel a little cliche, a bit overused, but maybe if we look beyond the buzzwords, there's something deeper there.
Okay, so let's say we dig a little deeper. What's the actual substance behind something like, say, perseverance?
All right, let's take perseverance. Think about it in terms of investing. The market's going up and down, some investments work out, some don't. Perseverance in that context means sticking to your financial goals even when things get bumpy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rich overnight, just got to keep at it.
Exactly. And you can apply that same idea to learning English, or any language, really. You hit a tough grammar rule, you get frustrated trying to pronounce a certain sound. Perseverance means you keep practicing, keep pushing forward, even when it's tough.
So whether you're building wealth or building fluency, it's that steady effort over time that really pays off. Consistency is key. But this podcast episode didn't just stop at mindset.
No, they definitely went beyond that. There was a lot of talk about taking action.
Oh yeah, they love those phrases like step out of your comfort zone, take the plunge, even put in the work. All very dynamic sounding. But how do those translate into real-world steps? What does that actually look like?
Good question. They're really emphasizing calculated risk-taking and action. Applies to both money and language learning, actually. Let's say you're starting to invest. Taking the plunge could mean branching out from those super safe, low-return investments, trying something a bit riskier, even if it feels a little scary at first.
Got to make that money work for you, right?
Exactly. And the parallel in language learning, maybe that's finally signing up for a language exchange. Talking to native speakers, even if you're worried about making mistakes.
It's about pushing past those doubts, those things holding you back, which can be super tough.
Yeah.
And speaking of tough, the episode also touched on the whole failure is a stepping stone to success idea, using words like setback and bounce back. It's easy to say, learn from your mistakes, but how do you actually put that into practice?
Think about any really successful entrepreneur. Do you think they just cruise to the top with no bumps along the way?
Probably not. There's got to be some stumbles and falls somewhere.
Exactly. They face setbacks, maybe even some flat-out failures. It's not about avoiding mistakes entirely, because let's be real, that's impossible. It's about what you do when those mistakes happen. How do you bounce back? Analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and use those lessons to improve your approach next time.
So it's turning those oops moments into aha moments.
You got it. I remember when I was first learning Spanish, I was so terrified of making mistakes that I barely spoke at all. But once I started seeing those errors as learning opportunities, that's when I really started to make progress.
Makes you realize you got to be willing to stumble a bit to really get your footing. Now, the last big point the episode hit on was communication. They threw out phrases like, think outside the box, seal the deal, and make a name for yourself. Okay, those make sense in a business context, but what's the connection to language learning?
This is where it gets super interesting. In our globalized world, being multilingual opens up some seriously incredible doors. Imagine you're fluent in Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic, whatever language opens doors in your field. Suddenly, you have access to a huge network of potential clients, partners, collaborators that someone who only speaks one language simply doesn't.
You're not limited to just one little corner of the world anymore.
Exactly. Being able to connect with people across cultures to really communicate effectively, that's like having a secret weapon in the global marketplace.
It's not just about speaking the words. It's understanding the culture, building relationships, and being able to get your ideas across in a way that resonates. Suddenly, learning a language is about so much more than just vocabulary and grammar.
You got it. And it doesn't need to be this huge, daunting task either. Start small. Maybe join a Toastmasters club to practice your speaking skills, or really focus on becoming a better listener in conversations. Every little step counts.
So to bring it all back to you, dear listener, it seems like the path to making your first million and the path to mastering a new language might have more in common than you'd think.
It all starts with that millionaire mindset. The perseverance to keep going when things get tough, the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, and the willingness to step outside your comfort zone, take calculated risks. It's about putting in the work consistently and viewing those inevitable mistakes as learning opportunities. And of course, it's about honing those communication skills both in your native language and the language you're learning.
It's kind of inspiring, isn't it? Working on one goal can actually fuel progress in a totally different area of your life.
Absolutely. It all ties together. Which brings us to a thought-provoking question. What comfort zone are you ready to step out of this week? Maybe it's finally making that investment you've been researching or signing up for that online language course you've had your eye on. Even a small step in the right direction can lead to amazing things down the road.
So what are you waiting for? Take these insights, put them into action, and see where they take you. You might just surprise yourself. Until next time, happy learning and happy earning.
See you next time.